My name is Kishon Monteith. I'm out of Iowa City, Iowa, co-founder of the Monteith Group. My wife, Johanna Monteith, is the other part of the co-founding since 2012. All I've got is some college background. I essentially have a GED. I used to cook by trade. I was an executive banquet chef. It was where I was working 12 to 14 hours a day, about 6 days a week. So my insurance background ended up starting in 2005. I had a friend that just said, hey, you did really good at this. I'm loving it. My friend had mentioned like what he was earning in approximately half to maybe a third of the time that it took me to earn the same amount of income. So from an income stance, it made more sense. And from more of like a work-life balance, it made more sense. I listened to him and haven't looked back since. I was used to working, 12, 14 hours a day, like I had mentioned. But what was a challenge was that I actually didn't have control over when those 12 to 14 hours were spent. It was kind of like, you gotta be in. There was, events that were needing to be prepared, people to direct. And coming into this, there is no like beating around the bush. It is something that you have to be able to work. You have to be willing to put in the time. But the value of it is that you have the opportunity to do it remotely. I can schedule things when I want. And so I have a lot more latitude when I am putting in the work to choose when I'm doing it, and to even kind of like, front end load if I do extra work during a certain period of time, that I could actually create more space in my life and my calendar later. There was a lot of learning though that had to occur. I was in my mid-20s trying to figure out how to manage my schedule, trying to figure out how to like manage finances, time and money, kind of managing those in a way that was profitable and helped me to understand also how can I do something once and get paid for it over and over again. So that was like a bridge that I had to take in order to be able to go in from just the employee mindset into a business owner mindset. What is interesting is I feel like I've got a little bit of a different perspective on challenges and failure. For me, I think that may have been a little bit of advantage for me when I first got started, because I didn't hold on to failures. I just saw them as opportunities, and I'm not using it in kind of like a hallmark way, like, just saying like, hey, failures are opportunities. I need to know what recipes win and which ones don't. And the better I know what is not a good recipe, I can stop doing that and start doing the better process. As the challenges, the learning curve that I had to have in the beginning was time and money disciplines that did cause unnecessary challenge. I think that's where it's, building the muscle of those disciplines. Ultimately, it happened. It took more time. The way things are, I will say, we're talking 18 years later, things are a lot different. It's been really refreshing to be able to witness some of the growth and the accomplishment that people in our organization are experiencing on a consistent basis. The kind of potential that people are able to unlock on a consistent basis. We see people go from where they were struggling to make ends meet. They were going from, just merely surviving and transitioning to thriving. And that's the thing that's really encouraging to see, is that, when we've got systems in place, being able to lend our hindsight to their foresight, being able to give them that capacity to make a difference in their life, and then seeing them duplicate that difference in the lives of others. What I'm excited about and optimistic about is a future where, all of our technology blended with the ambition and the aspirations that others have, all of those things coming to a crossroad where they're making actually a huge impact for people. In our industry, when you add value to the marketplace returns value. What I'm seeing is where it's like we've got people that are value-driven professionals. They're identifying ways that their value is diminished. They're so locked in on, how am I adding value to clients? How am I adding value to my teammates? How am I adding value to the company that I'm involved with? How am I adding value to my colleagues. A lot of that comes back to increasing the value that we personally can deliver. I think with people looking at us for the first time, or they're wondering like if this is somewhere that they can win, there's some components involved is GWC. They've got to get it, they've got to want it, and they've got to have the capacity. Some people, they get it and they want it, but do they have the capacity? Do they have the energy? Do they have the life circumstances? If they don't have the capacity, then those other two components don't matter as much. You know, maybe they have the capacity and they want it, but they just don't get it. For us, we're willing to invest in people, but it's only up to the measure of where they're willing to invest in themselves. We try to meet them halfway. Really what we've done is we've created a system of empowerment to where people that get it, want it, and have the capacity, they have a vehicle for helping them translate that into real results in their lives. And we've demonstrated that for thousands of agents. We've demonstrated it that if you get it, you want it, and you have the capacity, that we got a place for you. Our core values are what helps protect the culture within our company. It's such a precious thing for us to have a strong, healthy culture. Sometimes it's not a matter of what you see, it's what you feel. And you can feel the culture. And when you feel a culture that is healthy, you sense it in the communication, the interaction with people. Number one is like relationship matter and people come first. There's also another core value is that we're of a true team and a positive influence. There's another one that's like relentless pursuit of personal growth. If you're increasing your personal quotient, like your self-development quotient, if you're becoming a better person, will you not also be adding to those relationships? Will you not also become a more positive influence? You know, that's only 3 of the 8 core values, but what we look at is if those are basically descriptions of the individual looking at us for the first time, then maybe it's a fit, because essentially that's what all of the successful people here do. And if that's what you already possess, welcome home.